Welcome, I'm Bill Wake. We're here working on a calculator to support Kilt makers, and today we're going to focus on rounding for units. We got our rounding in Kilt maker style, which is to either 1/8 of an inch or 1/16 of an inch, with a little extra skosh marker that tells us if that was a little high or a little low, in which case you're kind of bumping by a 32nd of an inch. I did a bunch of stuff offline between yesterday and today. So first thing is I'm switching the logo. I guess I got to get the front page of this file in the background on the Twitch session. But I wanted to get something that indicated a little more that Kilt makers are involved. So lots of Kilt tartans have that sort of they're characterized by those lines, that kind of separated into different areas with different colors. And so I've added those yellow lines across the page and moved the operator slightly. So that'll be the new icon in the app. And I picked some of the colors from the icon to use for highlight colors in the app. A second thing I did is I added some background. The way it draws, it squishes this picture. I think I might want to make this picture a little more narrow to make that look better. Another thing I did was we had a conversation. I forget the name. Something coffee. I think it was them. Maybe it was Mudshark, who's given me so many other suggestions. But we talked about, like, would it make sense to not show keys that aren't available? And that's kind of what this diagram does. So it's a state machine, and it says, if you're going to start an expression, you pretty much have to use a left parenthesis, a unit, or a digit. That gets you to the operand. If you start with left parens, you can have as many as you want, but eventually you got to get to that unit or digit, and then you have the binary operators separating everything, and you can go to a unary operator. Eventually you get to a right parenthesis, and you can do that one or more times, and optionally a binary operator. So the double circle, S means start. Double circles mean you can stop here if you want to. And then inside the states, I put some actions to take when you enter the state. So actually P equals 0 is only on the outside. When you start the expression, parentheses start at 0. If you add a left paren, you add to it. If you add a right paren, you subtract to it. But it should never go negative. And at the end, you expect it to be 0 if they've balanced their parentheses. So I think this will be a basis. We'll have to do some tweaking and probably some correcting. But if we track being in one of those 5 states, we know which set of keys to highlight as being available and which ones to turn off as being not available. Okay, so that'll be something for future work. Now let's save this. Let's see. So okay, yeah, I think it was, I forget, something coffee. I've forgotten, and a number. Yeah, great. But it's a nice little thought. I think we can work with it. Let's see. So what else I did? I added the background on the page. I created, we have a kind of mini language in our content view tests that describe the keystrokes to enter as if you were typing in the calculator. And I basically added that same, I kind of copied basically that same structure to create tests like that for the calculator, and I'll show those in a moment. I also added something called EGAssert that's kind of like an assert equals, but you just give it the actual value and an EG, an example, and it knows to pull out the expected value, the message, the file, and the line number, so you don't have to type those over and over. We'll get that into the real EGTest package at some point, and added the background. Okay, so let me pull these down. Rounding units or something like that. Okay. And our goal for the day, my real goal for the day is I'd like to get the app far enough along I can drop it in the App Store, the test test area. Gosh, I'm blanking out what you call that, but basically deploy it as a test version, and get it onto my wife's phone and make her try it and see if it works to her satisfaction, at least for what we have now. Okay, and basically we want to get that unit formatter working. It today, if you have fractions, they just get rounded because we're just defaulting to number formatter. Okay, now let me run the app. Oh, I guess I had it here. You can see the new icon. The background looks a little busy to me because it gets squished. It's also starting slow as usual. All right, so I think if I spread that out by half, it'll look a little less busy. It's not inherently horrible. I'm not sure I like the yellow. The green comes right from the icon though. So at any rate, I think I want to move towards something a little nicer, and this will be a step. I imagine we can do better. I'm not a graphic designer. All right. Calculator tests. Okay, so before we had stuff like enter a 2, enter 2 and 5, enter a divide, enter 8, enter an equals, and stuff like that, step by step by step. Now we just have the little language that we have in the content view. 3 divided by 8 equals, should be 3/8. So this thing spins up a calculator, enters the keystrokes, and returns what's in the display. So you can see, so that's being compared. Now here's that EGAssert equal thing I mentioned. So if I do check with test cases, this creates this EG object, takes an input, an expected value, a message, and it implicitly creates the file and line. And then when you do EGAssert equals, you just have to say, what's the thing what's the function of input that you're testing, and what's the EG, okay? And that way you don't have to put file and line in your asserts, and you don't have to put message in. It'll default to something, but if you don't provide a message, it'll default it. Okay, so one of the things I would like to do today, after we get other things working, but these rounding to eighths things that we did, I think they can be, they can certainly be put into a structure like this. I mean, almost every test in this file is assert equal enter of something with $0, for some value of that. Certainly the remaining ones are. So we'll get those done. New ones, let's start that way. Okay, so a rounding thing, well, I don't know, maybe we can just kind of go for the gusto here. No, I want something with a 16th. How about this one? I think I've picked the one that doesn't need it. 154 inches divided by 160 equals, 54 divided by 160 is this. And we want inches as a unit at the end. Okay, and this is round with units. Okay. All right, this is going to fail. All right, because it just does the rounding to whole numbers. Okay. Now, I think, excuse me, we'll take a early break. Okay, welcome back. Sorry for the interruption. Okay, so we have the failing test that doesn't use units or doesn't do rounding. I'm going to use this as the excuse for some refactoring, so I'm just going to comment out this case for a minute. And let's see, I guess we'll want imperial formatter and value formatter and imperial formatter tests. Okay. I guess value formatter. Yeah, so the thing. Well, okay, format with fraction. All right, so I think this function. I think there's a class buried in here, basically, and I think it's a fraction formatter, for lack of a better name. But this function we wrote, the format a number with the fraction, does all the adjusting and signs and all that stuff that we want. So I'm going to make a new class, pull this out, and then we'll use that. Okay, so let's make it public struct fraction formatter. All right, and this value is going to go in there. That's a kind of domain specific thing. Find adjustment. These functions are all ones we added to support that. Okay, so we'll copy them. And the entry point is this one. Format with fraction. We need formatter. Well, I think we can make our own. Number formatter. Okay. And then, well, I think our entry point can be called format, since the class name tells us it's with fractions. Okay. Now, let's make one of these. That's fraction formatter. And where we'll use it, well, I think we'll say fraction formatter dot format a number. Okay. I think that will work. So okay, why doesn't that work? Value formatter. So oh, we configured the formatter in this one, didn't we? Okay, so we can commit that. This was refactor extract class fraction formatter. Okay. Now we should be able to get rid of anything. We should be able to get rid of these functions from here. Well, is anybody using formatter? I think they still are, right? Yeah, down here. All right. But we can get rid of these three functions. Okay. All right, so now value formatter. Well, that's dead. Okay. All right, let's get this guy. Period formatter takes. Okay, format number takes number formatter. Okay, so what I'd like to do. As inches needs this. I guess what I want to do is modify. I want to take fraction formatter here. Fraction formatter, and that means the two functions need to take that. And then format number needs to take that. And now I think switching this over is let result equals formatter dot format a number value. These, okay. Okay, so if it's infinite, we're not going to say infinity inches. We're going to say whatever we said before. Okay, now are we? Okay, let's see if that does it. Somebody. Oh yeah. This one. We'll just pass this in. We'll just make one eventually because it doesn't really maintain normal state. Really? Oh, okay. Unit formatter, use fraction formatter. Okay, and then this test, nope. Where is that thing? Value formatter tests? Nope. I guess calculator. All right, this should pass now. Okay. All right, so then I want to get some other cases here, and maybe this should just be a generic rounding test. I guess I want to emphasize that this is inches. I'd also like to do yard feet inches. Let's see, 36. Well, 36 times 160, is that what I need to know? I want to get inches, sorry, I want to get a yard in there. 36, since I'm dividing by 160, I guess each inch is 160. I got to go 960, 4. $57.60 plus 54. Okay, 58.14 inches should be 1 yard. 15.16 inches. I've been using that. But maybe it's not common enough. Okay, now I believe this should just fall out. What do I know? 1 yard, 15. Huh. All right, let's look at this value imperial formatter. Okay, so as yard feet inches. Well, let's do the, let's run it. So I'm going to do just this computation, 58.14 divided by 160. And I expect something 15/16. 36, right, 36. I should have expected 36. Why is it 5? I must have not added enough. 58. 5814. Well, I got a calculator here. Let's use it. So I want 36 times 160 plus, oh, it should have been 154 equals 5914. Okay, let's try that. It still seems like it should have, that was not exactly equal to 36 inches. Okay, still got the same problem. All right. Okay, partials is empty. We had nothing left. Oh, that's a good question. The unit formatter. Let's go to its caller. Okay, so he's just passing the inches through, which should be a value. Should be a double, right? Yeah. Okay. So if there's 4 of rounding, it's not going on there. Wait a minute. Where's formatter coming from? Okay, there's format number. So that should be called by this thing. I guess that's dead code at this point. Okay. So I guess let's just stop here and make sure everything looks like we expect. Sorry, it's CalculatorTests. All right, we'll comment out this one and just run this one. So 5914 coming in. Inches should be, oh, interesting. Well, okay, this is the inch value coming in. Yeah, so it should be 36 plus 15 sixteenths. Let's, yeah, oh yeah, could it be that? Four. All right, let me just make sure this is right coming in. 0.962, does that sound like 15 sixteenths? Shoot, let's, oh, I got it in programmer mode. Okay, 15 divided by 16 equals 0.962. What is that? 5914 was our input, divided by 160, 9625. But, wait a minute. that's not 15/16. So my math is screwed up here. 15 divided by 16. Oh no, we had 154. 154 divided by 160 is 9. Times 16 doesn't help. Sorry, I feel like I'm. Let's get 36 times 1. Well, I guess I was greedy because I wanted the fractional bit. Okay, equals 5914 divided by 160 should equal our 36.9625. Okay. That's good. All right, now let's take a step through this loop. Okay, so remaining should be the whole thing. All right. What happened? Partials 0. All right, let's run that again. Okay, major is 36. Remaining is 36. Okay, so major should be 36. Okay, minor units per major is 36. We want the remaining to be the 0.9625. Okay. All right, major is not 0, it's 1. Oh. Well, okay, it is a double. Major is not 0, it is 1. Okay, so we're going to append major and the label 1 yard. Okay, that makes sense. Let's go around again. Okay, now we're looking at feet. And our remaining is this, so floor should be 0. Sorry, major is 0. Major is not 0. Well, it's not, so we're not going to do anything there. Okay, and continue. Now we have minor units is 1. This floor may not do the right thing. Major is 0. Well, is that 1 the right number? Well, we can't divide by 0. Okay, so remaining is going to stay minus 92625. I mean, it's fine. We don't want the whole number there. Is this really the case for 1 is a special case? Yeah. I wonder if inches. Well, if it was 1.3, right, it would have come back with 1. We'd have had remaining less than 0. Yeah, I think maybe that's the case. I hate mucking it up, but I mean, maybe I don't know if I should just hard code this last case on the way out, right? That because there's always, if it's empty, 0. Well, let's put it in, and we're driven by a test case. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Is that's probably the right way in the end. Is take this out, and then, well, yeah, or maybe not. Maybe it's maybe it's drop last for each. Okay. And then the last one, yeah, maybe it does come out. Yeah, sorry. I'll just take your advice there. Okay, so I don't know what this is. Unit counts. Okay, and then if remaining, well, in this case, we know minor units is 1 implicitly for inches. Okay, and so major, I guess, if remaining is not 0, we're going to do partials dot append major, no, remaining, and I don't know, do I hard code this? Is this? Okay, so if there is remaining after you do the feet, those must be the inches. Okay, so if they're not 0, then append them. And if they are 0, then don't append. And if nothing came through, we get 0. Okay, I believe this will pass. Let's put that other test back too. Run them all. We're going to get rid of that too. I'm taking View Inspector out. If not today, some other day. All right. So we have make units work, make units support fractions. whether it's all inches or yard feet, inches. Okay, yeah, this is a little bit long and involved, but that's okay. All right, now let's go back here. I think we're here. I want to get these tests pulled in. Okay, so 3/8. Well, we'll just take that. And I've been doing them a couple at a time. Is it? Oops. Negative numbers slightly big. Thank you. How many Times I'll type it in before I recognize it. Okay. Well, let's get this. You can see why I spared you the rest of these tests. Okay, 15 sixteenths. Round to 16ths, no integer part. No, I think the adjustment marker is backwards. So if it's 15 sixteenths plus, it came out slightly slightly bigger than 15 sixteenths. So you have to add a little plus to pick up that extra 32nd of an inch. So the 15 sixteenths is the 15 sixteenths answer is slightly small. I don't know. Is that? I think of them as backwards. Maybe I'm just thinking backwards. Same thing here. Slightly big. Okay. All right. That should all run. I guess I can delete that one. All right. Make rounding tests parameterized. Okay. Good. All right. Now. I think we've done what we need to there. Okay, yeah, it is. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it may be that I'm. Yeah, I'd have to ask to see how they think about it, but they would definitely say plus when they mean make it a little bigger because it's too small. The answer you gave me is too small, so it's got to be a little bigger. Like, okay. I mean, it's kind of a clever way to get to 30 seconds of an inch without having to deal with 30 seconds of an inch. And the other thing that happens is, as they're making it, they measure along, so they know, say, 3 pleats should add up to, well, if I can get to the picture. I'm learning more and more. So there's this notion they call a set, which is sort of, it's basically the repeats, okay? And within a set, you can get 3 pleats. And so they know the set distance, and they can measure the 3 pleats and make sure they add up to, they're not crossing over the next set or anything like that. So they get that visual feedback as they go, and they can kind of tweak. And then the way things lay out, there's sort of a place where you can make it a little big or small. You don't want it to be, I mean, a 1/4 inch would be kind of a limit on that. Otherwise, it'll show up as a big gap, and you don't want that. But anyway, cool stuff. All right. So I think we're done with rounding. So let's clean out all this stuff. So much for this theory. Round 1/8, 1/16 point. Yeah, maybe we'll need that stuff someday, but okay. Now I got to figure out which. So I guess the question to me at this point is, what do I have to do to make this usable for testing purposes? And one thing I know is I need to turn off any buttons that aren't defined or don't make sense yet. So these memory functions / dot and %, I guess that's the only 4, 5, 6, 7 buttons out of 30. Okay, so we're getting there. I don't know the right way to do this. Well, okay, I can. Should I treat this as a view thing? I can have a list of buttons that are ones that should not be active. Okay, so let's go to content view. Okay, so in here in the grid, we do each button, and I can disable it if some condition holds, right? So let's treat that as kind of constant information here. Let disabled equal set of MC MR M plus. Is that what those buttons are? Keypad. Okay, M plus M minus % and slash and dot. Okay. What do we call it here? Dot. Okay, keypad dot dot. M plus M minus % slash and keypad dot dot. Okay. Now disabled if unused, what did I call that? That was, oh, disabled keys. contains key.name. Okay. Am I messing this up? Okay. And they don't do anything yet. Okay. But these should still work. Well, that wasn't too bad. I mean, that's kind of a temporary fix, I guess. But I guess you could, let's say you do 25 inches plus 4 inches divided by 8 equals 25 is 2 feet 1 inch. Okay, let's display that in inches. Okay, so there is a way to enter fractions. You can see what the keys that are disabled, right? I'm going to let you type in those at some point. Yeah, I think, I don't know, the problem I have with the state machine, kind of looking forward to the problems, you know, anticipating tomorrow's problems or future problems. It's like, should the states, like what should be public between these two things? Like I want keys to depend on calculator. I don't want calculator to depend on the UI of the keys. So in that sense, I don't know. It's like who owns the mapping or something like that. I mean, take a peek here. Can't resist thinking about this stuff. Should the calculator expose this is where you are? You're entering an operand, but then the UI would have to know like what's legal. Well, no, yeah. I mean, maybe the keys are a domain concept. This is kind of an intermediate domain, I guess. It's saying if the UI enforced these constraints, it knows what state it's in, and it knows like OPD can go out bin op, unop, unit, digit, or right parend, or clear. Everybody can always go to clear. That would tell it what to light up. I mean, the backend knows the functions it has available, but it doesn't know the mapping. So I'm not quite sure. I mean, if it were a separate sort of UI object, I guess. Yeah, I'm not quite sure where to put this. I mean, it could be a UI level object that knows the keys, and so knows it can track the state as a key comes in and do this stuff. We'll have to see. Yeah, it is the case that each state, like the left parenthesis, no matter where it is, always goes, always comes here. So the entry ones are all left parentheses. This one, they're all units and digits, unops, right parens in binary ops here, or start. So I don't know. But yeah, I think if there were I'm also thinking like, how's the backspace going to interact with this? Because if you delete something, like you can't tell where you came from, you're going to have to regenerate it, I think, which is a little awkward, which kind of defeats the purpose of knowing what state you're in, actually. I mean, I guess you could keep track of we could keep a linear state stack as well. But yeah, I'm not sure. All right. Let's see. What else I want to do? One thing I'd like to do is I noticed like when you hit equals, let's see, 25 times 692 plus 17 equals, you get the answer, but you don't have the expression anymore. And I think I'd like to do that. So that's going to change a bunch of answers, but I think knowing, 37 inches divided by 22 equals 1.1 whatever eighths or sixteenths, that's kind of nice. What else to get this thing ready? I guess the other thing would be dot and slash, if I could let you enter those delimiters, I guess you'd say, so you could enter fractional ones. Yeah, that would be a nice thing. I mean, what I'm eventually expecting to do is have a button that expands this and shows you the whole history and a scrollable list. Let's see. I think let me just try adding it in first and see what the result is. Let's see. So I don't think we'll need calculator. It really is probably just content view. Oh no, it is calculator. Sorry. It's kind of all calculator. It's really this. When you're displaying the result, if the input is not empty, we show this. I want to do it's in the field, you can't continue calculating. Well, I think I got to maintain the distinction about input, but the format, you don't do anything with the output. So what if I displayed this? Well, input trimming. Let's extract this value out. This is the formatted input. Well, it's really trimmed. I'm just going to do this as sort of a spike. Okay. Why does the input get emptied? Input.clear. Okay, this is going to be a little trickier. I want to maintain the distinction between input and sort of trimmed input. Input.clear is right. Okay, I think this is complicated enough that it deserves more attention. Let's make sure the tests still pass. So I've pulled trimmed input. Yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna have to do is maintain another piece of state. All right, let's take a break. So we'll come back 3 or 4 minutes and start making that show up there. I think that'll be helpful. And I don't know, there's not much else I have to do to get it going. I think we'll take our go at that. And then maybe we can start working on this. Yeah. All right. Let's take a break. Yeah, you're right. All right, welcome back. Let's see. So I guess I'm going to do some calculator tests. Well, the problem is every test is going to be affected by this. Yeah, maybe that smaller font size would be the way to do that. So I'd put another field up here or a little more space. What does that do? Oh. They're all pulsing. Well, right now the content, it's just showing the display. So, well, let's say we had calculator result. Okay, I'm going to reorder these. Input. Yeah, I mean, this does expand if it takes more space. I can't see anybody really typing in a gazillion of these things. I mean, the expressions are just not going to be that big. Most of the computations are this number divided by that number, and you might have sometimes have this plus that divided by this. So I'm not going to sweat that yet. I think it will fall out if I do the paper tape thing. You know, that'll be a scrollable thing. You could always tap it and see the whole giant thing if you really did put a 10-line expression in. But the way it is now, we can expand up to here, and I think it'll also slide down to so you can expand that much more too. So I'm not too worried there. But I think what I'm going to do is say there's a previous, and that's a string, and I guess it starts out 0. Just like value started 0. Okay. But units both sides of the equal. Yeah, well, I mean, this box will grow up, to multiple lines. So I don't think they're going to have, I mean, they might have 3 lines. I don't think they're going to have 6 lines. And if they did, they'd still get this. They're not going to have 12. That's my argument. We'll do some playing around and see, I guess. All right, so if I say there's a previous string and content view is going to show it. Okay. And this is previous. And the label is previous. Now I don't know how to shrink my font. Maybe I could do this. Yeah, let's try that. Okay. I haven't done anything. I'll put it as a constant. Right. Okay. So I think my claim should be if the result has been calculated, I think this should input, previous should become input. And I think that'll go from there. So let's test that. All right, so I think that's, well, we got equals evaluates the current display. So the question is, when does that clear, right? For equals. I think when input changes. All right, let's start with the simple case. All right. equals saves expression text. So if you enter 1 plus 2 equals, the result should be 3. This thing just returns display. I guess we want the pair back. So I'm going to need a new let's rename our enters. Yeah, let's rename that to result. Okay, and then I'm going to make expression result return string string. And then this is going to be let answer equal, well, okay, and then the return did I call it expression previous? Maybe expression's a better name. Yeah, that's possible too. Yeah. Okay. I don't think I'm at the end of it, but okay, he's catching up. All right, so the test should all still pass. Oh, except that new one. Who knows what he's doing? Okay. Um, what's going on down here? I think everything's coming up 0. Okay. What am I looking at here? Calculator, did I return the wrong thing? Expression and result is string string. I'm returning expression and display. And then everybody's calling result. Expression display. Answer. Hmm. There's no result, but there is a display. So, I mean, that's what it's doing, is checking if all we're doing is inputting, but if there is no input, then we must have a result. So yeah, if you type 2, then we set input as not empty. So we'll just show the 2. So display is a little ambiguous, but check digit key press. Creates a new calculator each time. Well, I must have swapped something around. Okay, let's change this to 9. And see if these tests all tell me there's a 9 there now. Yep, somehow they're getting the expression. Well, that name, okay. Well, what am I doing wrong? Result. I don't know if that name is getting in the way of something. Let's say display. And answer. All right, let's just take one and run with it. How do you not hit my breakpoint? Are they all content view tests they're feeling? They are. Oh, how do I get this display? Maybe I'm accessing it wrong. I think that's the problem. Yeah, that's not right. That will find the first one, and this is now the second. Okay. I think I kept this up, yes. I know there's a way to get to it. Well, I do have an accessibility label. I think I tried it and wasn't sure it was working though. Find. Make sure I spelled that right. Yep. I mean, I think that should find that one. That didn't take long. Yeah. Assuming it works to find it, I think it will make them more robust. Why do I get a syntax error? Well, I was going to say it must be here because it's the only thing I really changed. Oh, yeah, this is why. Okay. The first view with that button. Right, but I want to get the text. Is that going to do it? Calculate expression. Oh, come on. Yeah, I think that's. I'm hoping that will. as it all blows up. Um, I would have thought it would find the view and then look inside the view for that. Let's see, is there another qualifier? I assume this is the same failure. No, it's not. Search did not find a match. Okay, let's see how you got to get inside these things. Finds the first matching view. View with accessibility label. Accessibility level display. Okay, let's break it up. Yeah, that's my understanding as well. So, you would think the text, this is not configuring the text, it's wrapping a bunch of little mini views around the text. All right, now I don't know if I can stop and see it. If we print that, well, we'll learn something. Okay, I'm going to have to think more. All right, you can use the find function, locates the view. And then find something .zstack. What is that going to do? Maybe this would work on top of that. You find the view with an hstack and text. hstack. hstack any view. Okay, Caltex. Looking better. Okay. Did not find a match. Maybe I have to do any view. Okay, no, they get to the H stack and then dot text 0. Okay, I can certainly try that. Did not find a match. What did it print? Okay. Oh, I got something back. Something massive. Okay, everything passed. All right. Yeah. All right. Now I'm going to do expression, text, and what do we call this? Previous. I guess that's okay. Yeah, I don't even really know what's the difference between label and identifier. I mean, I'm guessing identifiers internal, not visible, or not said to the user, and label might be, but I don't know why it would matter which. You think they both have to be supported? All right, let's catch that in. Improve how content view tests access the display. Okay, so let's go back to calculator tests. All right, so we've got expression result. Yeah, maybe that may make sense to me anyway. Where's my equals saves expression test? Okay, now what I want to do is this. And I expect expression to be 1 plus 2. And this to be 3. Oh, well, that's pretty good reason. Thank you. Okay, so expression result 1, 2. I'm saying the expression should end up in 1 plus 2, and the display should have 3 because the value was calculated. All right, now this should fail because expression's hard-coded at this point. All right, we get a 9. Yep. Okay, calculator. We'll start off with 0. All right, and then when enter is called, this should save input. Clear expression. Okay, so I think it will sort of do something, but we won't like it because it's not going to reset properly. Okay, so I hit equals. I should get 118 and get the expression up there. Maybe they should have an equals after them. Well, let's do that properly. Kind of did both. I'm doing TCR without trying. Okay. So, yeah, let's run that again. Okay, 58 plus 2 equals, but if I type 32, all right, that's not good. Now, what should it be? Should it clear while you're typing this? I definitely don't like that. I mean, should it copy the input line? Maybe I only show it when. Yeah, that's the trick. I mean, I don't know. I got to have some sort of flag or marker or something. I mean, I could set a flag that says the result is showing, and every keystroke except this one should reset it. Well, I mean, I can make everything clear it, right? Any digits, units, operators, whatever you type except equals should clear that flag, I guess. No, at this point, expression is still this, but input is 320 because I'm still in the process of typing. But I think when I type that first three, something should happen. I mean, honestly, I think that display, the upper display, should go away and only show when it's in progress. It's a good little UI question. Now, this is where I'm not as sure about this. If it put the old answer equals 60, I would be okay leaving it up while you type in the new expression. That's like your last full expression. So that would make sense to me. But I don't like this because it makes it sound like 58 plus 2 is 3209, which it isn't. So maybe I can do that. If the previous expression, and the only place it's being set is here, right? So I could show result as well. It would be this. And maybe that tells me I should do something with result. Result equals evaluate. That's fine. I mean, what if there's a formatted result? It could set that right away. Let me do that. Here's result. This is formatted result. Well, it starts off 0. Okay, or empty would probably be okay too. But 0 is probably okay. All right, and then I'm saying this should be part of calculating result. Well, No, that's wrong. It's wrong because you can just hit the format key and change it as you go. So it can't pre-calculate that. But maybe that's okay. Result equals error. No, let's see. Yeah, does that help? I don't know if it does because where's that thing? Oh, here we go. Okay, I got to back out a bit. That has to come up here. This comes out. Make sure I'm still green. All right, so now I think I'm willing to duplicate a little bit here. I don't know. Let's see where we are with tests. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. If it's just a tuple .0.1 or implicit field names, as it were. I mean, I kind of want. That's what I want. Okay, that test is going to fail. Okay, so now let's put this in place. And I'm pushing this up. I think now I get what I liked. I mean, that definitely is good. Then I get 666. I'm still working on that, but you can see the previous one. All right, but when I hit equals, yeah. Okay. Yeah, let's do that tuple idea, or maybe a struct at this point. I think expression and result is pretty reasonable. Okay, so what's going to work for the front end? I mean, he's just going to show that stuff. Right now, he just does calculator.expression. Okay. Maybe previous is a better name. How many times can I circle around it? I don't know. All right, that should still all pass. Okay, so now let's move it a little towards the operations. So previous is going to be well, I guess 0, 0. And now here we're going to do okay, so previous is going to be this. That. And then this one, input empty and input last is binary. I guess it's still input.toString. Well, I'm making this too hard then. Okay. Okay, that's where we started. Now we're just saying you're going to put the result regardless. Okay. String, string, string. Input value formatter result. That looks like two strings to me. I guess that's not the line it's complaining about. Calc. Oh. This is returning. This is why you don't like deep tuples. Okay, and then that one test is going to have to adjust. I don't know why they haven't added that. I would like it a lot more than a lot of other stuff. Well, that tells us we probably would be better off moving to an object instead of a tuple at some point. All right, test should still pass. Okay. Let's take a look at this. 0 times equals. Okay, that's okay. I guess that's why I've seen multiple lines, is messages often take multiple lines. Okay. All right. Yeah, I mean, I don't know why. I don't know why, actually, I don't know why Swift doesn't just make tuples equatable if their children, if their component types are equatable. Because it's pretty clear what to do, compare and compare. I mean, it's a decent default. Well, okay. What else? I'm trying to think what would. Well, I don't think we're going to do the dot in 15 minutes. I will tweak this look a little bit. I think it would help. Now this, I just did an overlay, so we'll ungroup it. And let's, let's copy that here. Okay. Is it this? Is it this? No. Oh, it's not letting me group them. Okay. Oh, they're already grouped. Okay. All right. No. Okay. There we go. Okay, so this is background. Ping. Replace. Export. Okay. Desktop. Oh, let's commit this. Store history and expression for now. Yeah, I could probably do some sort of tiling thing if I got them aligned up just right. I think for now, I'm just going to replace that image. That I just lost. Okay. I'm hoping it's spread around. This one has 4 white lines. Maybe it'll be more like 2. Yeah, I think that's better. It's a little smaller. I want it offset, which I think it is. Okay, I think that will work for me for now. Trying to think what else would. I'm not super fond of that yellow, but I don't think I need to change it just yet. I think it is the yellow from the line. I guess that's closing everything too soon. That yellow, it's kind of a little bit muted. I took it from a real Kilt pattern. Yeah, I think this change previous to a list, I think that's really getting into that history feature, and that's a good one. Probably before this. History. Open scrollable view with all expressions. Okay. And I think at that point, we'll make that history item an actual class and go from there. Okay, trying to think, is there anything else that's going to be confusing? I think it's okay. All right. Well, from here, I guess what I have to do is some packaging. I don't know if I can remember how this goes. Organizer. Yeah, I think I. Oh no, I don't know what I have to do. Oh, that's a nice idea. Yeah, they do need to pop out a little more. Let's go content view. Button, frame, background. Yeah, so, I mean, off. Oh, did I keep the original somewhere? Oh, I may have shot myself in the foot. Underneath all this, the Kilt I started with, I may have to redo some work here. I grade out a real tartan, but I got a feeling I don't have a copy of that starting point anymore. I'll have to recover that. Plus or minus in the icon. Yeah, that's that is from that. Okay, so yeah, let's take that. Text, color, EF4C2A. This is, I don't know, highlight. We haven't had a lot of luck with preview on this project, which is kind of my general experience with preview, honestly. When it works, it's nice enough, but it seems awful flaky. Oops. And what's the point of a preview if I can just run it in 1 second or 2 seconds, you know? Well, maybe I can't. Yeah. Well, apparently not this time. Okay, well, here we go. Okay, that's a little too something. I would almost take that green. Yeah, I think that'll work. All right. And let me just try width 1 just to kind of... Yeah, I think that's nice enough. 2 is starting to fight some of these lines a little. Yeah, I'm not sure how to get it to stop here. All right. Clearly something's off. I think this is as good as we're going to get for the day. I mean, I don't have any 5-minute changes. I do have to kind of do some background stuff to get it listed as an official project and configured for that so I can try and distribute it. But, I guess I'll report Monday what the result is and see where we have to go. I think, I know she's teaching a class in a couple of weeks. Yeah. It would be nice to get contrast on some of the other buttons. Anyway, she's teaching in a week or two. So if we can get this this feature in to enter eighths and sixteenths directly. I mean, I'm a math major or a former math major. I know that I can add inches and then take this divided by that and get this, but I don't think she'll want to do that kind of level of work. I don't even know if she'll really use the yard, feet, and inches thing, but we'll see. Yeah, anyway, I'll get that packaged up, try it Monday. Next week, we'll focus on entering fractions and then memory, and then make a decision about the percent. Like, I don't know, from talking to her, it doesn't sound like she even expects to use the memory stuff. And if that's the case, maybe we can figure out a better thing. Maybe there's something else she's doing. I do know this notion that there's sort of standard pleats, and if you can show the whole pleat shape and how big each piece is, that's going to be a help for people. And it also kind of cements it as being more useful for Kilt Maker calculator. You know, if it's got stuff that's directly useful calculations. There would be several calculations if you did it by hand. Let's see, anything else? Okay, let me add those to dos. So entering fractions. History could be a really helpful thing. This is really dot and slash. Yeah, let's move these function things up. Yeah, we have some nice ideas about how to make these better. And I don't want to lose that separate error field idea. Okay. All right. So next week we'll pick up there. That's Monday, 2 to 4:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, or 6 to 8:30 p.m. UTC. Thanks, FVLVTE and Mudshark666 for speaking up a little bit. And I'll see you in the future, I hope. Take care. Bye-bye. And thanks again for today. It's nice to get this to a useful point here.